All right. Hey, guys. Let me get this set up here. All right. Good evening. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. If you're on, just give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here watching. Hopefully, we've got a couple of people joining me. Today, we're going to do a book fold. I am using the Bold Bouquet stamp bundle, stamp and die bundle, as well as something fancy on the inside. And I'm using the Delightfully Eclectic DSP. So this DSP is the largest pack you can get from Stampin' Up right now, and it's currently 15% off, which is an awesome value. It has gorgeous, unique prints. It uses so many ink colors, so many beautiful ink colors, just so many papers in this whole collection, and it uses this bubble bath, which I absolutely adore, and I didn't use it today, but I'm just kind of flipping through this pack. So if you haven't got this, this is something you want to grab because this is a great value, and with it being on sale, it is super, super awesome. So I've got a book fold. Hey, Mary. Hey, Carol. Hey, Susan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for shouting out. So this is today's card. I'm also using one of the online exclusives. This is the Radiating Stitch Dies. So these are not in your annual catalog. They're not going to be in a mini catalog. We don't know how long they're going to be available. So if you don't have them, grab them. Grab them soon because these dies are absolutely gorgeous. These are one of those standalone dies that you can use for so many cards. So definitely want to grab this up. All right, so let's get started. So here's our card. I'm going to kind of set this to the side. And we're going to start out by doing a little bit of stamping first. I'm going to bring this out here. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. So, all right, so I've got some Night of Navy ink that we're going to do our sentiment with. And so this big happy birthday came from the Bold Bouquet collection. So this is one of those stamp sets that I kind of think a lot of people have missed. Just because I haven't seen a whole lot of cards with this one. And it is a stunning set. All right, so we're just going to do that with the Night of Navy. And then while we've got the Night of Navy out here, I'm going to go ahead and ink up my inside sentiment that I'm using for this from the Something Fancy set. And this is a piece of 4x4 basic white. Okay, and it's a cling, and luckily I got it on the money, so I love that. All right, I'm going to set that out of the way. I'm going to bring a couple of other ink pads out here, and then we will get going here. So I've got a little bit of Calypso Coral that I'm going to stamp a couple of times with the large flower for the Bold Bouquet. I'm just going to put it on the inside corner here for that inside card. I may as well bring in my envelope. Hey, Carol, thanks for joining. Yes, this is a beautiful set. It just makes the flowers are so pretty. All right. And then we'll do one more that we'll die cut. Hopefully that basic white. Nope, I got it a little too high. Let's try that again here. Okay, there we go. I've got some fresh freesia that we're going to do as well with the smaller flower. And then we're going to use some garden green. So you guys, my husband and I took the family to Mexico on a cruise this weekend. Or this week. We have a 22 and an 18-year-old son. We took their significant others with them, their little boyfriend and girlfriends. I have to tell you, my heart is so full right now. It rejuvenated me like nobody's business. It was just awesome. We got back at 11 o'clock last night. I feel like I'm going to fall over. I'm so tired. but it was wonderful. We went to Costa Maya and Cosmo. We went out of Galveston. We had a great big group. There was 15 of us in total. And I am telling you, it was a fantastic time. The weather was beautiful. My poor husband is roasted. He got roasted that very first day out. So he spent a lot of time in the shade. But it was so much fun. Okay, so what I'm bringing in here is I've got my mini boho blue machine. And I've got my matching dies here that we're going to line up here. And if you've watched my videos before, you know that I love these little mini machines because it allows you to die cut right as you're sitting at your desk. I clamp it down and push down on the top before I start rolling it in. That way I don't need any tape or anything to kind of hold it in place. But these little machines are a jewel. Oops. I barely caught that, but I got it. So you just line that up. And the awesome things about Stampin' Up! Dies is it cuts the entire image. You get a nice little cute white background to kind of give it that extra layer of dimension. You can always ink it a little to make it a little dark, but I like the white, so I just leave it like that. So we've got that. I'm going to bring this in here. Oh, I think it's this one. We're going to cut that garden green. And I have one of those cut already because I cut a couple of extras this afternoon when I was making my card. Ooh, now that shifted. So you just have to double check right before you send it through that it hasn't done any shifting. So I'm going to give that clamp down. Mary, the trip was amazing. The weather was beautiful. It was awesome. And I feel like we haven't gone on vacation in forever. You know how it goes? You just, time gets away from you and the next thing you know. And it was perfect with the kids. They got to go do their own thing. We did our own thing. We met up at times. It was just what this mama needed. All right, so this is the last little thing we're gonna die cut and then we're gonna start assembling our card. I'm going to set my machine out of my way. And here we go. So we've got our die cuts. Put that back on the sheet, adhesive sheet so I don't lose it. And now we're just going to do a little bit of assembly here. So what I have is I have some fresh Freesia card mats that we are going to put our DSP and our inside on. So I'm just going to layer this up. All of these dimensions will be available on my blog tomorrow. Here we go. So there's our inside. And then we're going to put this beautiful plaid. I guess it's kind of a plaid. A tone-on-tone plaid from that delightfully eclectic DSP that's on sale. And I'll be honest, when I saw this in the catalog, I wasn't too jazzed about it. As a matter of fact, I didn't order any extra from my paper share. Hey, Jamie Sue, thanks for joining. It's no big deal. Glad you could join me. I didn't love it. I cut it all up for my paper share and I was like, oh, I got to get this ordered because it is beautiful. I especially love the bubble bath paint colors pieces in there. Okay, so I've got these all layered up, and then I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 that I've already scored. On the 11 side, I scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2, and so that's what's going to create that book fold. So I'm going to move my layers out of the way, and I'll show you how I fold this. So we're going to fold it in half at one of those score lines, and I'm just going to give it a nice little burnish, and then I'm going to flip it back and give it a little burnish. So this is going to create that book fold. So I am going to take some Stampin' Seal and just run it right along that inside little piece and fold it in and give it a nice burnish. This is going to be what creates that book fold. So here's your binding, here's your book fold. So now all we have to do is start layering it together. So I'm using that Stampin' Seal. Because that pattern is pretty much the same all the way around, I don't have to worry about which direction I'm going. And I'm going to just create a little bit of that edge around. Okay, now we've got our small piece that we are going to layer as well. And there is basically our card base. While we're at it, we may as well go ahead and put the inside in since we have it all ready to go. So I'm going to layer this so that I've got a nice clean edge on each side and then press it down. Okay. Now I'm going to add my Sentiment die cut with that Radiating Stitches die out of basic white. I'm going to make sure I've got a nice, good location. And now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, on these Stampin' Dimensionals, I usually only use one because I'm going to be feathering some leaves underneath, and I want to make sure that there's enough space, but I think that's too much. So I'm going to kind of lift this up and put a mini dimensional in there. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my next adhesive. We'll just do a little liquid adhesive with this. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive with my tweezers. I may not have used this for a week or so. It may be all clogged up. See what I can do here. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and see if I can't clean that up a little bit. Ooh, that's going to make a mess. Let's see if I've got one that'll work. There we go. We'll clean that up later. So, got a little bit of that liquid adhesive there. You ever come back to your desk and then all of your supplies are messed up? Yeah, that's what we're dealing with today here. And I hurried up and made all sorts of cards to blog last week while I was gone, and I didn't blog well, maybe one or two of them, but that was it. I was really ashamed of myself, but I needed the break, so I took it and it worked. I came back with tons of creativity going, so sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Okay, I'm going to add this petal pink flower that I stamped. And I'm going to roll it around there so that it's not going to be across the edge. And then I believe, oh, maybe I don't have another. Well, I thought I had another leaf, but I don't. So we're just going to leave it at that. Okay. So there's our card front. All we have to do is embellish a little bit. So I've got these brushed black brass butterflies. Don't try to say that 3 times fast, let me tell you. And I'm just going to take some of these guys and just kind of work them around the flowers. So I love these particular embellishments, especially with flowers, because, you know, butterflies and flowers, they go together so perfectly. So I think they're absolutely perfect for one another. And they're flat, so they're great for mailing. There we go. All right. So that's our card for today. Super easy breezy, very beautiful. well, 2 stamp sets, I guess. But one beautiful paper pack, and I am telling you, you could make a ton and ton of cards with this paper pack. Just get with this one paper pack and stamp set. Tons. So we're going to do a little bit of liquid adhesive on the outside of the envelope and finish it up. And it has Night of Navy, which is my all-time favorite color. Everybody knows I'm an orange fan, but I do love Night of Navy. And it goes really well with Calypso Coral, which, you know, is kind of orange. It's orangey. All right, so as I said, these dimensions will all be available on my blog tomorrow. Be watching out all week for tons of new creations from my new refreshed brain. All right, there we are. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. Thanks so much for joining me and taking time out of your day to be here with me. I will see you again this time next week, and have a good one.